Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the video. So in this one here, I want to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond, and I want to talk about what this show can actually bring to the Walking Dead universe. I want to break down the panel, all the information that we learned from it, because we actually learned quite a bit. I think this panel taught us the most, I would say, out of all of the shows about like its own show. I haven't fully went through the Fear the Walking Dead panel, but from what I gather, you don't really learn too much about the show. I think there's little things here and there that you learn, but and there's some things that are actual or are of actual value, like the fact that it's going to be like this anthology type of series. That I'll talk about that in my Fear the Walking Dead video. But Walking Dead, we learned some information. We did learn quite a bit, but with World Beyond, because this is a brand new show, I think that just it makes sense. We learned a lot. And I do think there's going to be a lot more Rick Grimes stuff in it, a lot more than we were expecting. I think with Fear the Walking Dead, with some stuff with like helicopters and planes and stuff, there was a lot of fans just hoping, a lot of like, even like myself included, hoping that they would talk about Rick and like seed in little things here and there. But I think that was just so small. It was really unrelated when you compare it to World Beyond and what I think it can actually do, because this community here, I'm pretty sure anyways, is a part of the CRM. It's the CRM, the logo is 3 rings. It's 3 rings that are like intersecting with one another. The one that we see in World Beyond is one of them. There's also another one where Rick is. And then there's this other one that I'm not sure. Gimple has already confirmed that it's not the Commonwealth. Like we were going to see that on the show. We're going to see Commonwealth for the show in season 11, but that's not the third community. It's something else out there that I'm sure we're going to find out at some point. But we did learn a lot about the CRM, and I also think that we learned the main storyline for this first season, and that is going to be this character right here, Dr. Leo Bennett. He's a biochemist, and he's one of the best. And he's trying to find a cure. Like that was actually confirmed on the panel. He's trying to find a cure, and he goes to another community to teach them about what he's learned and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he actually goes missing, and I could be wrong about that part. I've heard things months ago, and so yeah, that could be why they're out there on their own. They're trying to make a difference, this and that. There's a lot they can do there, and because this scientist is very, very popular, or not popular, but he's very good at what he does, and most likely understands what is creating these walkers more than anyone, I think that's why this character here, Colonel Elizabeth, wants him. And this is where Rick is. I think that's where the A and B stuff comes into question, and you can kind of see how everything is starting to connect. So before we jump in, obviously, spoilers. I don't know if I just said that. I totally forgot, but yeah, spoilers. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this. I'm still going to be doing a World Beyond trailer breakdown because there's a lot to talk about in that. There's a lot of scenes that they actually show, and I want to talk about more specifically certain storylines that we're going to be getting in the first episode, and I think stuff we'll be getting in the episodes afterwards, because I do think with these characters, we are going to love them, and I actually am really hyped for this series because it seems like these characters are going to leave in like the first episode for the most part. I do think the first episode, the season 1 premiere, is going to be about this, learning who these characters are, going out into the world, and then episode 2 and on will be when they're on that journey. And this story is going to come to an end in season 2. We're getting 10 episodes here for season 1, and then 10 episodes for season 2. A lot of these characters are going to die, and we're following these characters on this journey. This to me reminds me of The Walking Dead, like a lot, because The Walking Dead in the beginning was so exciting because you were following these characters on this journey. And even though right now with World Beyond, it's hard to connect with those characters as much as we were with The Walking Dead, it's because we haven't actually watched the show and got to see what a lot of the characters are like. I think if you watch the panel, and I'll leave a link down below to the panel, you're going to immediately love these characters. I think you're going to know exactly what they're like. And that's the thing about all of this, is that these characters are going to die. Like over half of them might die. We might meet new characters in season 2, new characters on the way. There's a bunch of stuff we're going to get into here. So first of all, the first thing that we did learn was that Iris and Hope, they're sisters basically. Iris and I guess her dad, I think it's her biological dad's Dr. Leo Bennett, that's the biochemist. Hope, at least based off of the trailer, must have lost her parents or something like that in the plane crash. And so that's why Hope is with Dr. Leo Bennett. I think, I'm not exactly sure the family structure. I don't know what happened, but they are sisters. They're very close. We saw that in the trailer. We've known that for months now, that Hope and Iris are very close. And so the difference between these two characters is that Hope isn't really that hopeful. That's what they talked about on the panel. Hope is more Iris is Hope's hope, I guess is what you can say, and it's also vice versa. Like Hope is Iris's hope, you know. Or wait, did I just say the same thing? I can't even. Whatever. Like they're each other's hope. They're each other's inspiration. You get what I mean? Hope is more of the, I guess she's a badass sort of character. She can do all these really strong things, this and that, but she's very scared to do them. Like she's doing them, but she's just so unsure of herself that she's too scared to do these things, but she's just doing them because I think that she feels that she just needs to be doing those things. And then Iris, she's more the goody two shoes. She does really well, I'm sure, in school, things like that. She helps Hope out a lot. And so you can kind of see how that dynamic between those characters is going to work. They're probably the main two characters, or at least the main two characters that we're going to follow as soon as the show starts, and then we're going to start to obviously move on to other characters. You know, like Daryl wasn't a fan favorite, or even Carol in season 1. Those characters were side characters in season 1. If you go back and watch season 1 and 2, Daryl and Carol were side characters. Like they really weren't, they weren't the main characters. It was Shane, Rick, Lori, and Carl for the most part. Glenn was a little bit more up there, but Carol and Daryl for sure were not even close to being main characters at all. That happened in like season 3 and 4. They started to go up there a lot. I would say Daryl for sure in season 4 became like a main character because I lived through the entire series. I watched it since season 2. I don't know what season 1 was like and how people thought of Daryl, but I know in season 2 he wasn't a fan favorite. Not a lot of people liked him. He was my favorite character then. And I remember that because I liked him for so long. And then it was like towards, I would say, the end of season 3. It was mostly season 4, though, where all of this hype for Daryl started to happen. And I think a lot of women liked him and stuff. I think it was when his hair started to get a lot longer. And that was around season 4. And all of a sudden, Daryl just blew up that season. And I was so annoyed because it's like, I liked him. He's a badass. He's like my favorite character. And then now he's, you know, now it's not cool to like him because now everyone just like rolls their eyes whenever you say, oh, Daryl's my favorite character. It's like, oh, yeah, of course he is. So some of these other characters who aren't main characters, this is a 2-season limited series, but they could become, you know, like a main focus, especially in season 2. I do want to do death predictions for the series. I definitely do. I'll post that most likely probably around where the season's going to start, maybe after the premiere episode 2 or 3. I'll do something around there anyways, for sure. Obviously, this isn't a secret. They call them empties. Like the Walking Dead calls them walkers. This show is going to call them empties. It's actually a nod to the comic because Jesus in the comic actually calls the walkers empties. So, yeah. Now, the most exciting part is that Elizabeth here, Colonel Elizabeth, obviously this is probably the part of any kind of trailer that fans get the most excited about. Like, for me, this is the most exciting part. And it's not even necessarily because it's related to Rick. Kind of, that's like the foundation. But there's a lot of things about this community that seem really interesting. She's from a community, and this is what, I think her name is Julia Ormond, the actress who plays Elizabeth. She didn't say city or anything like that, and obviously I don't think there's going to be cities right now. It would just be communities in general. But this community is authoritarian, and so you can imagine what things happen and all of that. We even learned that on Fear the Walking Dead with that one character, I believe her name was Isabel. Like she was saying, I can't tell you anything about what I am, where I'm going, what I do, like nothing. If I tell you, you have to die. It is that strict over there. And so Elizabeth here, she's up there. She's a high-ranking official in the CRM. Like she is really high up there. She's one of the people that is implementing these rules. And I actually think she is probably the biggest villain of the Walking Dead universe in that sense, just because she has so much power. She knows so much of I guess the behind the scenes of the apocalypse, right? And she most likely knows where Rick is. That's the thing about all of this, is that she most likely knows where Rick is because they asked her, like Julia Ormond, does your character know who Rick is? And her response, and I'm just paraphrasing here, was basically, if you asked Elizabeth where Rick was, she wouldn't tell you. And even if she did tell you, I wouldn't trust her. But as an actress, she doesn't want to tell you because she wants to keep her job. So I do think she most likely knows where Rick is, because if you think about it, when Rick was taken away, that was 6 years ago. That was 4 years into the apocalypse, only like 4.5, maybe 4 to 5 years, around there. 4 years, just around there anyways. It's been 6 years. Like at the point where we're at right now in The Walking Dead and on World Beyond, that's 10 years in. So Rick has been with the CRM for 6 years. Because these movies are going to span that time period, at least the first one will, the second and third one will probably be after where we're at right now in the show. Rick has to do some damage, right? Obviously, they're going to be doing these movies. He has to do something really exciting. Like Colonel Elizabeth, she knows who Rick is for sure. And I really wouldn't even be that surprised if we literally see Rick Grimes mentions, or we see something like with a room that says Grimes on it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, they can definitely do that. That is going to create a ton of buzz for this movie. And if they never did in the first season, they will for sure in the second season. Like, they're going to want to hype up this Rick Grimes movie. And I'm telling you, like, that is the purpose of this show. It makes sense. They want to build up all of this mythology to the CRM and to the Rick movie. And I do think at the end of season 2, it's going to end the story, but there's going to be so much hope, or so much to look forward to, for the movies. And I think that's exactly what they're doing here. With Dr. Leo Bennett, the fact that he's a biochemist and he's trying to find a cure, I think all the A and B stuff makes a lot of sense. I think that's what they're trying to do here, is that the CRM are trying to find a cure. I think Dr. Leo Bennett, he's from this part of the CRM. He's like one of the best out there. And I think he's trying to go to other communities to teach them what he's learned. And it's possible that the CRM don't want that to go out, maybe, if they do find a cure. That could be a main motivator of the Rick Grimes movies. It could be a lot of that. Like, it is definitely very possible. So I really am interested in this series. The characters, there's a lot to learn, or there's a lot to like here. The cast is really awesome, and yeah, I really can't wait for this show. I'm super hyped for this show. Like, I'm excited for the finale for season 10, but World Beyond, I do think, I know they're kids, and it's going to be hard to watch teenage drama. But if you actually watch some of the footage and you watch the panel, and again, I'll leave a link down below. I really do recommend watching the panel. It isn't going to be so much that, like, it's going to be that, but I think these characters are going to grow up very fast. We're going to see that in the premiere, that they're so happy and it's just like normal everyday life or whatever. But I think as soon as they go out there, towards the end of season 1, they're going to be broken people. This apocalypse is going to destroy them. People are going to die. They're going to wake up, like, this is the real world. You've been living in this bubble for a very long time now. Rick, all these people, they have been surviving out there for many, many years. Welcome to the real world, right? Or welcome to The Walking Dead, or whatever. Sorry, I was a little cringy. Anyways, post your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the series in general. What are your predictions for the series? And also, like, what kind of Rick Grimes Easter eggs or things could they add in here? Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.